Have you ever heard that the future of e-commerce will be the death of retail, where no one buys anything in person? Or maybe it was how everything will be bought in VR through the metaverse using voice search, and Alexa will take over. Are we done yet? After gathering insights from actual data, owners, and leaders in the industry, here are 10 e-commerce trends that you must know. Direct-to-consumer marketing overtakes digitally native vertical brand operations. Brands that were created and grown through digital are now moving away from direct-to-consumer as their only operational model. Instead, brands are adopting the idea of being direct as reaching their customers regardless of where they are. This means digitally native brands are getting into wholesale, and legacy brands that relied primarily on wholesale are diving into digital. When somebody walks into Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, or Target and they see your product on an end cap or display, it's cast in a familiar positive light. It's a subconscious thing. That way, when they see an online ad later, everything comes together. Taylor Sicard, co-founder of Win Brands Group. This sets up the second trend of retail rebounding post-pandemic as omni-channel surges. New growth aside, in-store retail towers over online sales by over $15 trillion. Although the pandemic accelerated e-commerce adoption, the rebound of retail has been faster than anyone anticipated. This means the path forward for scaling brands will be dependent on crossing the online to offline divide. Schmidt's natural deodorant is a great example to model. Starting from farmers markets and street festivals, they were able to take those personalized experiences all the way to wholesale retailers while simultaneously keeping D2C as an active channel. We were strategic and successful in maintaining strong D2C sales right alongside high numbers in retail. Does this finally mean we can focus all of our resources on diversifying and ignore Facebook ads? Not exactly. Whether it's TikTok, podcasts, or direct mail, diversification is a really attractive idea. But when you define success as the same or better returns than Facebook, we found it's really difficult to find a better channel. Don't get me wrong, there are outliers, and this doesn't mean diversification isn't something you should employ. It just means for most brands, testing on other channels should be coupled with Facebook as a primary driver for acquiring new customers. But why are Facebook and Instagram so good for acquiring new customers? Data. Years of tracking via their pixel on websites has led to purchase intent data unparalleled anywhere else. Even iOS and attribution windows couldn't dethrone the platform. Regardless of what people say, brands vote with their dollars. This makes customer retention more vital than ever. If you've heard about the importance of LTV or lifetime value, you may have wondered, how practical is this really? Most brands can't actually afford to wait a lifetime to be profitable. This paradox is why using a cash multiplier serves as a much better mental model. Selecting a 60, 90, or 120-day payback window depending on your product helps you measure LTV more definitively and gives you a better idea of what you can actually afford to spend to acquire new customers. Bamboo Earth leveraged these insights via our data platform Statless to grow profitably at less than a 1x ROAS. We just needed to track what our customers did after they made their first purchase. What we discovered was that they were doubling and tripling their value to us within 90 to 120 days. By starting with retention, brands can finally focus on the number that matters most: profit, and the one future formula. For all its complexity, e-commerce growth comes down to one equation and 4 metrics: visitors times conversion rate times LTV minus variable cost. This doesn't make e-commerce growth easy by any means, but it makes it easy to understand. As more brands move away from market share and focus more on dollars in their pockets, knowing your variables and taking hold of the ones with the highest likelihood of impact will define success. This connects directly with trend number 6 that you must know: the compound of online shopping with AOV optimization. The best tactics for boosting average order value aren't big, but their sum is greater than their parts. A few include in-cart upsells for mystery items, one-click post-purchase offers, tiered discounts through spending thresholds, subscription incentives for recurring revenue, and loyalty programs that exude VIP. Sometimes the problem isn't a lack of options, but knowing which options to prioritize. So it's important to remember that every metric you're trying to move has a person behind it. So keeping in mind their pain points and selecting the best fit option is a great place to start. Trend number 7 is multi-channel uniting demand generation and demand capture. The rapid increase in channel options has created challenges that require 2 fundamental changes: an alignment of channels with your goals and competitive opportunities, and bringing together social, search, and point of purchase into a single funnel. Two models that brands have adopted are the multi-channel approach that is more purchase-centric and a omni-channel approach that is more customer-centric. What matters more than this difference is connecting demand generation and demand capture. Certain channels are better at generating demand than they are at capturing it. That's why brands are weighing the margins between creating awareness, interest, and desire via social and the final action through branded search versus wholesale partners. This makes your creative content a non-negotiable to get in check. All this talk about lifetime value and profits, but where does creative content fall into all of this? Data shows that most brands plan to maintain or increase their content budget, but don't feel confident about its ability to generate sales. But once again, the data shows that creative significantly impacts sales. Proving content's worth is built upon a creative strategy that repurposes story and aesthetics in paid media and a tactical strategy governed by data analytics. You can learn 5 steps for a creative strategy that works here or with the link in the description. Speaking of buying, we have to address the hype around in-app purchases on Facebook and Instagram because consumers just aren't using them. Based on the data, we shouldn't expect social commerce to become a needle mover in the near future or without significant acquisition. Intimacy with customers won't come from social, but instead it'll come from SMS. Customers are adopting Facebook Messenger and SMS at an exponential rate. DMs sent between individuals and businesses total 20 billion monthly. With open and click-through rates that are significantly better than email, SMS can no longer be ignored by brands as a way to increase sales, build relationships, and ultimately grow your business. This trend is history making because for the first time ever, the world is within reach. Though navigating borders is not without its challenges. Medium retailers can begin selling around the world with the literal flip of a switch. Screenshot this list of questions as you consider beginning. Change is ever present, meaning e-commerce growth won't get any easier. Check out our full video on the e-commerce growth equation to narrow down the 4 levers that you can pull to grow your business. And until next time, we'll be here to help you make it happen.